Deep within the shadowed alleys of a forgotten town, nestled between mist-covered mountains, lay a mansion cloaked in darkness. It was the residence of the Nightshade family, rumored to be vampires of ancient lineage, their origins lost to the annals of time. Each member of the Nightshade family possessed a distinct, bloodthirsty charm, known to the townsfolk only by whispered tales. At the helm stood Lord Nathaniel Nightshade, a figure draped in midnight velvet, his eyes gleaming with a hunger as old as the earth itself. His consort, Lady Seraphina, moved through the halls with a grace that belied her insatiable thirst for crimson. Their offspring, the twins Damien and Lilith, were a study in contrasts. Damien, tall and brooding, wandered the town's peripheries, his presence striking fear into the hearts of those who dared to cross his path. Lilith, on the other hand, exuded an ethereal beauty that masked her predatory nature, drawing unsuspecting souls into her web with ease. As the moon cast its eerie glow upon the land, the Nightshades emerged from their sanctuary, their crimson eyes gleaming with hunger. They stalked the streets, their senses attuned to the scent of warm flesh pulsing beneath the fragile veneer of humanity. But whispers began to spread among the townsfolk, tales of disappearances and strange sightings in the dead of night. Fear gripped the hearts of the villagers as they realized that something ancient and malevolent lurked in their midst, feeding on their very lifeblood. Yet, amidst the terror, a lone figure emerged, a traveler whose path had led him to the cursed town. His name was Alexei, a wanderer with haunted eyes and a past shrouded in mystery. Drawn by a force he could not name, he found himself inexorably drawn to the enigmatic allure of the Nightshade Mansion. As Alexei delved deeper into the secrets of the town, he uncovered dark truths that threatened to unravel the fabric of reality itself. With each revelation, the lines between friend and foe blurred, and he realized that the true horror lay not in the shadows, but within the twisted depths of his own soul. And so, the stage was set for a battle that would decide the fate of not just the cursed town, but of all who dwelled within its accursed walls. But as the moon hung heavy in the sky, casting its baleful light upon the land, one question remained unanswered. Who would emerge victorious in the deadly game of cat and mouse between man and monster? And what unspeakable horrors awaited those who dared to venture into the heart of darkness? As the moon ascended higher in the night sky, its pale light casting long, twisted shadows across the town, Alexei's investigation delved deeper into the macabre secrets that lay hidden beneath the surface. Each step he took led him closer to the heart of the darkness that gripped the town, but also deeper into the tangled web of the Nightshade family's influence. Rumors whispered in the wind spoke of forbidden rituals conducted within the walls of the mansion, of blood-soaked ceremonies that bound the Nightshades to powers beyond mortal comprehension. And yet, for all his determination, Alexei could not shake the feeling that there was more to the Nightshade family than met the eye. Meanwhile, within the confines of the mansion, tension simmered among the Nightshades themselves. Lord Nathaniel's grip on power began to falter as whispers of dissent echoed through the halls, fueled by secrets long buried and grudges nursed in the darkness. Damien's thirst for dominance clashed with Lilith's cunning machinations, threatening to tear the family apart from within. But as the Nightshades battled their own demons, a new threat loomed on the horizon, a darkness older and more insidious than even they could imagine. Shadows stirred in the forgotten corners of the town, whispers of an ancient evil awakening from its slumber to claim dominion over the land once more. Caught in the midst of this deadly dance of fate, Alexei found himself drawn deeper into the heart of the darkness, his every step bringing him closer to a truth that threatened to shatter his very sanity. And as the lines between reality and nightmare blurred, he realized that the true horror lay not in the monsters that prowled the night, but in the darkness that dwelled within the human soul. As the tale of the Nightshade family and the cursed town unfolded, one thing became clear: the forces at play were far beyond mortal comprehension, and the fate of all who dwelled within their grasp hung in the balance. And as the night stretched on, shrouded in a suffocating cloak of dread, one question lingered in the air, unanswered and unspoken: who would emerge victorious in the battle for survival? And what unspeakable horrors awaited those who dared to gaze into the abyss? As the night deepened, the tendrils of darkness wrapped around the town like a suffocating blanket, and the air grew heavy with the scent of fear and anticipation. Alexei, driven by a relentless curiosity tinged with dread, pressed on with his investigation, determined to unravel the mysteries that plagued the cursed town and its enigmatic inhabitants. But with each passing moment, The veil between the world of the living and the realm of the dead grew thinner, and the boundaries of reality began to blur. Shadows danced in the corners of Alexei's vision, whispering twisted secrets that threatened to drive him to the brink of madness. Meanwhile, within the walls of the Nightshade mansion, the family's internal strife reached a fever pitch. Dark whispers echoed through the halls as alliances shifted and loyalties were tested, and the once unbreakable bond that bound the Nightshades together threatened to unravel entirely. Yet, amidst the chaos, a new figure emerged, a being of darkness and shadow, whose presence sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened of souls. Known only as the Harbinger, this ancient entity wielded power beyond comprehension, its motives shrouded in mystery and its true nature obscured by the mists of time. As the Nightshade family and the town teetered on the brink of annihilation, Alexei found himself drawn inexorably into the web of intrigue that surrounded them, his fate entwined with theirs in ways he could scarcely comprehend. And as the night wore on, with the moon hanging heavy in the sky like a watchful eye, the stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the very foundations of reality itself. But as Alexei delved deeper into the heart of darkness, he realized that the true horror lay not in the monsters that prowled the night, nor in the ancient evils that stirred in the shadows, but in the depths of his own soul. For in his quest for truth, he had unearthed secrets long buried and awakened forces beyond his control. And now he stood on the precipice of a darkness from which there could be no return. And as the night stretched on, pregnant with the promise of unspeakable horrors yet to come, one question burned in the minds of all who dared to gaze into the abyss. As the tension in the cursed town reached its zenith, a palpable sense of dread hung heavy in the air, suffocating all who dared to venture into the night. Alexei, consumed by a relentless thirst for answers, delved deeper into the labyrinthine mysteries that surrounded the Nightshade family and the dark forces that lurked within the shadows. But with each step he took, the lines between reality and nightmare blurred further, and the whispers that echoed through the darkness grew louder, more insistent. It was as though the very fabric of the world was unraveling, and Alexei found himself caught in a maelstrom of chaos and despair from which there seemed to be no escape. Meanwhile, within the walls of the Nightshade mansion, the family's internal struggles reached a fever pitch. Betrayal and treachery festered like a poison within their ranks, and the once proud dynasty teetered on the brink of collapse. And yet, amidst the chaos, a flicker of something darker and more sinister stirred, a malevolent presence that hungered for power and would stop at nothing to achieve its twisted ambitions. As the night wore on, the town became a battleground, with the forces of darkness converging in a deadly dance of death and despair. Alexei, driven by a desperate need to uncover the truth, found himself thrust into the heart of the conflict, his every move watched by eyes that gleamed with malice and hunger. But as the final showdown drew near, Alexei realized that the true horror lay not in the monsters that prowled the night, nor in the ancient evils that stirred in the shadows, but in the depths of human depravity. For in his quest for knowledge, he had unleashed forces beyond his control, and now he stood on the precipice of a darkness from which there could be no escape. And as the moon hung heavy in the sky, casting its baleful light upon the land, the stage was set for a reckoning that would shake the very foundations of reality itself. But amidst the chaos and despair, one question remained unanswered, hanging in the air like a curse. As the night reached its darkest hour, the town seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for some unspeakable horror to be unleashed upon it. Alexei, now a pawn in the twisted game of fate, found himself drawn deeper into the heart of the darkness, his every step guided by forces beyond his understanding. But as he ventured further into the labyrinth of shadows, he began to uncover fragments of a truth so horrifying, it threatened to consume him whole. Whispers of ancient pacts made in blood and betrayal echoed through the darkness, hinting at a darkness far older and more insidious than anything he could have imagined. Meanwhile, within the Nightshade mansion, the family's descent into madness reached its climax. Brother turned against brother, and sister against sister, as the tendrils of corruption wrapped around their souls like a suffocating embrace. And amidst the chaos, the true mastermind behind the family's downfall began to reveal itself, a being of pure malevolence, whose thirst for power knew no bounds. As the final act of the deadly drama played out, Alexei found himself facing a choice that would determine the fate of not just the cursed town, but of all who dwelled within its shadowed embrace. And as he stood on the precipice of oblivion, he realized that the true horror lay not in the monsters that prowled the night, nor in the ancient evils that lurked in the shadows, but in the darkness that dwelled within the human heart. And as the night drew to a close, with the first rays of dawn breaking through the darkness, the town lay silent, its streets empty and its secrets buried beneath a shroud of darkness. But as the sun rose on a new day, casting its light upon the land, one question lingered in the air, unanswered and unspoken. What new horrors awaited those who dared to venture into the heart of the darkness? And what unspeakable truths lay hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? As the first light of dawn pierced the darkness, illuminating the town with its gentle warmth, a sense of calm descended upon the cursed land. The night's horrors seemed to fade away like a nightmare at the break of day, leaving behind a world reborn. In the aftermath of the harrowing ordeal, Alexei emerged from the shadows battered but alive, his spirit tempered by the trials he had faced. With the help of the few remaining townsfolk who had managed to survive the night, he set about rebuilding what had been lost, determined to forge a new future from the ashes of the past. Meanwhile, within the Nightshade mansion, the darkness that had once gripped the family began to recede, like a fog dissipating in the light of dawn. With the malevolent presence that had held them in its thrall banished from their midst, the Nightshades began to heal the wounds that had torn them apart, finding solace in the bonds of family that had endured even in the darkest of times. As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, the town slowly began to thrive once more, its streets bustling with life and laughter where once there had been only fear and despair. And though the memory of the horrors that had befallen them lingered like a ghost in the shadows, the townsfolk found comfort in the knowledge that they had emerged from the darkness stronger than before. And so, as the sun set on the horizon, painting the sky with hues of gold and crimson, the cursed town stood as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. And though the whispers of ancient evils still haunted the night, they were drowned out by the laughter of those who had triumphed over fear and emerged victorious in the face of unspeakable horror. For in the end, it was not the darkness that defined them, but the light that shone from within, a light that could never be extinguished, no matter how deep the shadows grew. And as the stars twinkled overhead, casting their gentle glow upon the land, the town embraced the promise of a new beginning, leaving the nightmares of the past where they belonged in the depths of the forgotten night.